Is this supposed to be here? It was under the lunch trolley.
Oh dear.
I had an absolute blast with the Phoenician Scheme. It's funny, it's exciting, it's fast-paced, and it's got a strong emotional core with an estranged father and daughter struggling to connect. Considering Tom Cruise just released a new Mission Impossible, I wasn't expecting to say that the best spy film of the week was directed by Wes Anderson. I've been loving Anderson's recent experimentation with genre. With Asteroid City, we got to see the Wes Anderson version of old-school Close Encounters sci-fi, and with the Phoenician Scheme, we get to see the Wes Anderson version of a globe-trotting espionage thriller, with cigar smoke filling the screen, guns and hand grenades threatening to go off at any second, and Alexander Desplat's tense orchestrations on the soundtrack. The Phoenician Scheme builds a palpable cinematic atmosphere on top of all its zany humour. This is Anderson's best film since the Grand Budapest Hotel, and a promising sign that he's still got it.
Go now. Suicide pedal.
Where's for father? Take this miserable sinner into the company.
Ever since he got into stop-motion animation and became addicted to the control, Anderson has directed his actors like marionettes. I love his use of meticulous staging and in-camera editing, but it doesn't leave much room for the actors to explore their characters. They're instructed to hit their marks, look in a very specific direction, and downplay all their lines with the same kind of blunt deliveries. Sometime during Anderson's Roald Dahl anthology on Netflix, I got fed up with this samey approach. Thankfully, the Phoenician Scheme doesn't fall into that trap. Benicio del Toro proves to be a perfect Andersonian leading man. He already works in a very understated style, so he's able to find the nuance in Anderson's understated direction of his actors. The rest of the Phoenician Scheme's star-studded ensemble knock it out of the park too. It was fun to see Richard Ayoade as a beret-clad gun-toting guerrilla terrorist. It was jarring in a good way to see Jeffrey Wright give such a cheerful performance after watching him murder soldiers and torture seraphites for the past few weeks on The Last of Us. Tom Hanks and Bryan Cranston make for a delightfully chaotic duo, apparently as comic caricatures of Mickey Leland and Ronald Reagan. Bill Murray plays God and has a ton of fun with it, and Michael Cera is so well suited to Anderson's style that it makes you wonder why he's never been in one of his films before.
Could you imagine falling in love with a man like me, by the way, hypothetically?
You're drunk on 3 beers.
But the standout here is Mia Treepleton as Del Toro's daughter, a soon-to-be nun who resents her dad and resists his efforts to reconcile their relationship. Treepleton has inherited her mum Kate Winslet's gift for pulling off both comedy and drama simultaneously. She captures the depth of Liesel's heavily guarded sadness and vulnerability, but she also never fails to get a laugh with her bone-dry line readings. She provides a really funny counterpoint to all the dick-measuring spies and businessmen around her. She reacts to every macho power play with a wonderfully deadpan retort. There's a complex plot in the Phoenician Scheme involving double agents, financial sabotage, shady government conspiracies, fluctuating business deals, and communist revolutionaries. And Anderson has a lot of fun subverting spy movie tropes. But that's all just a flowery genre backdrop for a surprisingly moving father-daughter story. Anderson essentially expands on the relationship he built between Royal and Margot Tenenbaum, as a wealthy, self-involved father tries to reconnect with his estranged, emotionally damaged daughter when she's an adult and it's way too late. Del Toro brings the same charm to this distant dad that the late great Gene Hackman did in The Royal Tenenbaums. He's a prick, but he's also oddly lovable, because he's hilariously oblivious to his own flaws, he seemingly doesn't know any better, and he's genuinely trying in his own dysfunctional way.
It's been 6 years since our last meeting.
I have my reasons.
Which are what?
My reasons? I'm not saying. I'm saying I'm not saying.
The Phoenician Scheme might be Anderson's darkest film to date. It's certainly his most violent. It opens with the most shockingly gory image Anderson has ever shot, and he proves to be a surprisingly great action filmmaker with every shootout and fight sequence that comes along. The rest of the movie is fun in a darkly comedic way, but the violence is appropriately jarring and unsettling, and it has consequences. Whenever there's fisticuffs, people bleed. Whenever there's an explosion, people get blown to pieces. Anderson hasn't directed much action throughout his career, but he does it with more intention and creativity than a lot of filmmakers who have made a career out of it. Looking at you, Michael Bay, Wes Anderson's showing you up. The Phoenician Scheme doesn't have any of Anderson's signature devastating emotional moments that rip your heart out with a single line. There's no "I've had a rough year, Dad" in this movie, but purely as a quirky little spy caper with a pitch black sense of humor, it works beautifully. After a couple of shaky outings, this feels like a return to form for Anderson.
Call it.
Heads.
Heads.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked the video. Remember to like and subscribe and click on the little bell. And also seize the day and call your mom and be kind to yourself.